You're applying to be an expendable?
Yeah.
You read through the whole application.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Yeah, I should have read through it.
Once you die, we'll print a new version of your body.
I once knew a guy. Around the time Parasite came out, and he told me his father's favorite movie of that year was Parasite. Now, I considered his father to be like a pretty traditional, standard, whatever guy. And I was like, why is that your father's favorite movie? That's kind of interesting that the Korean movie would be his favorite movie. And he tells me, oh, it's not really anything about the movie. It's just when he sees directed by Bong Joon Ho, he starts laughing hysterically because he sees the name Bong and he thinks of a weed bong and he can't stop laughing. This is a true story. Someone actually told me this about their father. Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and today I'm joined by...
I'm Tim3, and I am so sick of dying in car accidents. It's awful every time.
I'm Bennett Kedge.
And today, joining us as a member of Bomb Squad Productions, a member of the squad...
It's me! Hello! I'm Cody. Cody 2, not be confused with the one you've seen before. He died in a... we don't talk about that. But I'm here now, and I'm an official member of the Bomb Squad podcast. Thank you for having me.
It's so sad. We haven't called this the Bomb Squad podcast in 2 years. You're off the team, if you can't even remember that.
Ooh.
Did you even come onto the show when it was still called the Bomb Squad podcast? I don't think so.
No. This is actually my first matinee, so...
Yeah.
And I've already fucked it up.
Our show was called the Bomb Squad podcast, and it was Bomb Squad movie night. Then we split it into two shows.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We might need to kill me off. We might need to go to Cody 3 now.
Cody 3, here we go.
This is bad.
And if you couldn't tell by the Bong Joon Ho joke I made, today we're talking about Bong Joon Ho's follow-up to his 2019 film. It's been 6 fucking years. Parasite, his follow-up to Parasite. Mickey 17. It's been 6 years, can't believe it. But here we go. But before we get into our thoughts on Mickey 17, I've decided this is our first time talking about Bong Joon Ho, which is cool. So the question is, what makes Bong Joon Ho stand out as a director? Who will I start with? Tim, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so Bong Joon Ho is a pretty solid director of... Izzy was talking about this on the Old Boy episode. He's one of the big, Korean new wave directors. And he's really solid. I've seen, I think, most of his films, and I've enjoyed them all. The main thing, the easy thing to point to with his films is he's always commenting on class and class division. You see this in basically all of his movies. Parasite being sort of the probably the most streamlined take on sort of class division, but he talks about this in all of his movies. And another cool thing about his movies is a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them have some cool weird monsters, and I love when he gets cool weird monsters in his movies. Host's got a good monster. Okja has a really sweet, lovable giant creature. There's some creatures in this film we're talking about today. He has a very interesting kind of eye as a director, and whether he's doing high sci-fi or more grounded, realistic fiction, he always has something to say about class. So I was excited for this film. Did I like it? More on that later. Back to you, Tanker.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Cody, what do you think makes Bong Joon Ho stand out as a director, or what do you like about him?
Well, that's a bit of a tough question because this is my first Bong Joon Ho film. But I could say as an outsider looking in from this film and from glancing at works like Parasite, Okja, Snowpiercer, etc., he's got a very unique eye for modern directors. I think, a lot of modern directors can be very samey, very, they all kind of blend in together to the point where the director name doesn't really mean anything anymore. So it's nice to have creative directors like him that can, have a unique sort of style that's, easy to recognize, even if your opinions on his films vary between each entry, especially with this one, which, again, we'll get into later.
Good answer. Bennett, what do you think of Bong Joon Ho? What makes him stand out to you?
I love Bong Joon Ho's movies. Big fan of like a lot of his most recent ones. The first Bong Joon Ho movie I ever saw, I did not realize it was by him until I went back later on after falling in love with some of his movies like Snowpiercer and Parasite. Was The Host that Tim brought up. I was in a film appreciation class in college, and one of the movies they had us watch was The Host, because it being a sci-fi, a monster movie, it still had, like Tim said, a lot of insight on class struggles and class differences. And it's just interesting to see how he can always turn a movie, no matter like what the monster is or who the protagonist is or anything in the movie, into a movie about like the main oral story is about class struggle. And I think this film did have a lot of that saying in it. But I'll get into that a little bit more later.
Good answer. My time to shine out low. I think Bong Joon Ho stands out because of that fucking amazing hair he has. Have you seen that head of hair on him? God damn, it's incredible. Do you know how old Bong Joon Ho is? Do you know how old Bong Joon Ho is? I'm not saying that over and over again. He's 55 years old. I totally knew that off the top of my head. He is 55 years old, and he has a head of hair that incredible on him.
I ain't gonna look that good at 55, that's for sure.
He's an icon. I also think his movies are pretty good. I really liked Parasite. My favorite of his is Memories of a Murderer, which I think is his first feature.
I think Barking Dogs Never Bite is his first.
You're correct. Barking Dogs came first, but Memories of a Murderer is so good. It's like my favorite movie of the year it came out. Here's the thing. It's my favorite movie of the year it came out, which leads to my fun little factoid, which is a lot of people, if you ask them what's their favorite movie from South Korea, they would say Old Boy. Well, my favorite movie, Old Boy, isn't even my favorite movie from South Korea that came out in 2003.
That's fair.
Because Memories of Murder is.
That is a hot take.
I mean, it's 1 and 2. Those are my two favorite movies of 2003. Memories of a Murder and then Old Boy. I just like Memories of a Murder a little more, mostly because it is full of class commentary, like the rest of Bong Joon Ho's work. Really, it's all about class commentary. And Mickey 17, his third English language feature, his first movie since Parasite, and his first English language feature since Okja was in English, right?
I think it was mostly in English, if not
mostly
all.
in English, yeah. His first English language feature since Okja is Mickey 17. It has plenty of class commentary. But what did we think of the movie?
Why aren't you dead? Multiples.
I think I'm going to start with the person who clearly loved it the most. Cody, what did you think of Mickey 17?
You fucker. I think it was very apparent, especially from this discussion, that I didn't really know what I was getting into. I kind of watched the first trailer. I liked the concept of... I'm a big fan of clones. Big fan of that sort of like that question of like, what is an individual, what counts, and then putting that into a scenario where there's expendability and putting that in the workforce. There's a lot of good angles to approach that with, but I just personally think the film didn't really do a lot with that and focused more on the social commentary, the political drama, which for some people that might be their jam. That's what they're into. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. It's just not really my cup of tea, and I feel like it kind of overshadows what could be a very interesting topic, because there are little bits and pieces in the movie where they kind of talk about the whole concept of having multiple versions of yourself and having the technology explained and the morals explained, and I think those are the most interesting parts of the movie, but they're very few and far between, and it's kind of bogged down by a movie that I think was definitely not bad, but for me, disappointing. That's generally how I feel about the movie.
Fair enough. Bennett, What did you think of Mickey 17?
I loved it. It felt like a classic Bong Joon Ho movie. Really fun, a lot of funny parts, some pretty decent action parts, but also just like Cody said, a very interesting take on what makes a person and an individual, and like the takes on like, you know, if cloning was a thing, how would we decide, you know, what's ethical with cloning and what's not, and also like an interesting take on how people could probably abuse that type of technology if we had it. But I also loved all the other parts of it, all the different types of sci-fi, the monsters, the just the space part of it and everything, the whole concept of traveling to faraway planets to abandon Earth and everything. Just a different kind of sci-fi in the movie. It's always so good, and Bong Joon Ho is just so creative with some of the kind of concepts he comes up with in terms of just creating something out of nothing when it comes to sci-fi. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Not my favorite Bong Joon Ho movie of all time, but definitely up there. Definitely a really good movie.
Good answer. Good answer. Tim, you've seen it the most recently, I think.
Yeah, so to preface my story, I saw this last night with my fiance, the other Cody, and my fiance had never seen a Bong Joon Ho movie before, so we were walking out of the movie, and I mentioned that I had seen a lot of reviews going into it that were calling this Bong Joon Ho's worst movie yet. And her response to that was, if this is Bong Joon Ho's worst movie, then I'm really excited to see what other movies he's made, because this was really good. And I pretty much agree. I think this was a solid movie. It's maybe a little more on the nose than a lot of his other movies, but in the times we're living in right now, where we have fucking cartoon villains in the White House, why not just go on the nose? Why not just fucking say it with your whole chest? And I thought this was a solid commentary on class, like all of his other movies. More specifically, a solid commentary on colonialism. Just seeing them colonize this planet and then calling the creatures on it aliens when they're the aliens, and the whole speech that Nasha gives, like, that very much felt like venting, and I think it's something we needed in that moment, because it just feels too real right now. And yeah, just a solid movie. Performances were great. I love that Robert Pattinson is getting to have more roles now where he can just totally let loose. I thought he was giving it his all, and just kind of going ham with it, having fun with it. Like in the little Alamo Draft House pre-show thing, they mentioned that like his inspirations for how he played Mickey 17 and 18 was Ren and Stimpy, which was fun. I love that. And yeah, he was great in the role. This isn't my favorite Toni Collette role, but please, for the love of God, give that woman an Oscar. She absolutely deserves it. Mark Ruffalo is great in the movie. I love that now he is getting to like be in these more artsy movies as these bourgeoisie assholes, much like in Poor Things. He plays the character very well. And yeah, just love the performances there. I think it's a solid concept. There's a lot of interesting stuff that can be done with it, and that was done with it. And just an overall good time. And I wouldn't call it my least favorite Bong Joon Ho movie. That is probably Barking Dogs Never Bite. Nobody cooked dogs into soup in this one. So ultimately I like it better just for that reason alone.
Well, not on screen anyway. We
Not-
don't know
not-
what was going on off screen.
Not on screen.
I don't know what that goop's made of.
Yeah, I think dogs were extinct by this point in the movie. But
Possible.
2054?
yeah,
If I have it my way.
it's looking pretty dire in Mickey 17 world. I'm gonna be real. But yeah, good movie. Good commentary, good performances. Just a solid picture. Currently my favorite of the year. Back to you, Tanner.
Good picture. A lot of killing.
A lot of killing of the same guy.
A lot of Mickey killing. I love that Bong Joon Ho, when asked, so the book's called Mickey 7. Why is this one Mickey 17? He basically just said, I wanted to kill Mickey 10 more times.
I think it was Stephen Colbert who asked him that too.
Great. Awesome. I love it so much. I love this movie. It's not quite my favorite of the year so far. It's my third favorite? Fourth favorite? Third favorite?
To be
Third favorite.
To be fair, I think I have like 4 movies in my 2025 list.
Let's look at the over 10 in mine. I have Mickey 17 ranked. Oh, second. It's my second favorite movie of the year so far.
What's your first?
Grand Theft Hamlet. Bennett's also Bennett's favorite movie of the year so far.
False.
We're not doing this to make fun of Tanner's taste again. No. Yeah, I loved Mickey 17. It was great. I thought the performances all around were great. I thought the commentary was very on the nose, but also, I don't think Bong Joon Ho's ever been subtle. Parasite's on the fucking nose, if you ask me. Parasite is like very explicit. Parasite is all text about class. That's all class.
Oh yeah,
It's explicit. All of his movies are explicitly about class and capitalism and all that.
Snowpiercer definitely is too. I mean, it's like every train car.
They literally tiered the train cars by class. I mean, Bong Joon Ho's never been subtle.
Yeah.
So the lack of subtlety here doesn't really bother me. He's never been subtle. And I love this movie all around. I love it when Robert Pattinson gets to do a voice. And boy, he gets to do 2 voices in this one. Just straight up, there's a moment where Mickey 18 is hanging Mickey 17 over the like incinerator, and Mickey 18 asks him, "Are you afraid to die?" And I swear to God, he used his Batman voice for that. I swear to fucking God, it sounded like his Batman voice.
A little bit.
Which was awesome, because I love his Batman.
Yeah.
All around was great though. I mean, I really liked all the somewhat actiony sequences. I thought they were a lot of fun. I thought the movie was funny. I laughed a lot. Though the thing that really got to me was the stuff it kind of got into with the cloning part. The class stuff was all great, obviously, but the stuff with the cloning, that actually appealed to me more. There was specifically this moment near the beginning of the 3rd act where, because throughout the movie, Mickey is saying how he blames himself for his mother's death because he pressed a button on the car when he was a kid, and then his mom got in a car accident and died. And he's like saying like, I pressed that button and that's what happened. And when he says that out loud to Mickey 18, Mickey 18 says, "You're still blaming yourself for that? Dude, I keep telling you it was a manufacturer defect, and there was something about that. I keep telling you." Because I'm sitting here thinking, you were invented a day ago. The fuck you on about? And then I would kind of like realize that like Mickey 18 sort of represented that positive voice inside Mickey 17's head that was always there. And all of a sudden the stuff about individuality, what makes a person, just really kind of like clicked for me.
Yeah.
And then especially I damn near teared up when the title card happened and it was like switching between 18 and 17 and then landed on 17 before erasing it again to write out his actual name, Mickey Barnes. Great name. Mickey Barnes, 80 grade name.
Yeah. I do want to comment on that real quick. The thing about I keep telling you thing. Like, I kind of got the impression that like each Mickey is like a fragment of the Mickey Barnes' soul. Like each one is a different part of him, because they also kind of mentioned something about Mickey 5 was annoying or something like that. So like each one had
Mickey 3 was whiny, you know.
Each one had a distinct personality, so it felt like each one was a different part of him, which I thought was interesting.
That's kind of what I got from that. Was that about,
like
each one's a different personality of his.
I kind of got that. I didn't think that the differences were that stark. I just think 17 and 18 happened to be very extreme. I don't know. There was something about that. I agree with the sense that all these clones make up parts of who he is, but I also still felt like Mickey was Mickey at the end. Still, I just think maybe like different parts of him were more prevalent. Yeah. And Mickey 18 happened to be the confident one. However, now that I think about it, I give this movie 1 out of 10 stars, and that's because the two Robert Pattinsons didn't kiss. Bong Joon Ho, if you make a director's cut rectifying this issue, I will forgive you.
That's fair.
There's totally a scene. Did you guys see that thing where Mickey 18 is totally checking Mickey 17 out? I'll send you the GIF. It totally happens.
Love yourself, man.
He like looks him up and down and then bites his fucking lip. It's crazy.
Is this movie self-cessed?
Question mark? Good question.
Hey, that's a hypothetical for another day. Right?
We'll get into that for general discussion. We're bringing back the Loki discourse. No. I loved it. I almost have nothing much to say just because it's great. I really dug it. I totally understand how, though, if you were going in there not really familiar with Bong's work and just expecting a fun little clone adventure, to be disappointed. And on that note, Cody, I think you should watch the movie Moon, and that's all I'll say.
Literally every comment I've read about this movie mentions that movie, and that is like instant priority now. It's like, oh, it's just like a different Moon. And it's like, all right, clearly this is the movie I meant to watch.
I also don't think it's that similar to Moon. I don't get
probably
the
not, but
beyond.
like the general
it's surface
idea.
level in the sense that both involve questions about individuality. But beyond that, I'd say they're very different movies. But no, Mickey 17 is great. I had a lot of fun watching it. I felt real good watching it. I don't know. It's just the kind of movie where you watch on the big screen and you go, hell yeah. I also appreciated the stuff about colonization, like Tim was saying earlier. I don't know if I really know of any other Bong's previous works that really tap into that. But I'll have some more stuff to say about general discussion, especially about the politics of this movie. I have some interesting stuff to bring up there. But before we get into that, we're going to take a brief commercial break. Welcome back from a commercial break for another commercial. See that shit? See that shit right there? All the colors? That's a movie palette. Basically what it does is it takes the primary color of every frame, chops it up in these little lines, and makes a little piece of art out of it. The one I have is for Punch Drunk Love. The one above Tim is for Mandy. You can get one of your own for either of those movies. Maybe the movie we're talking about today. I don't know if it's on there yet, but it probably will be someday. Or any other movie of your choosing. And if it's not on the website already, you can have one custom ordered for a little more money. So go ahead, add the palette to your cart. But before you check out, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. Thank you so much. Now back to the show. So politically with this movie. Let's get right into it. A lot of people kept being like, wow, Trump. Wow, Trump. Wow, Trump. Obvious comparison to make. I think there are some aesthetic inspirations there. I think Mark Ruffalo's performance is clearly inspired by Trump. I do not think that's what Bong Joon Ho was intending when he wrote it. And I'll get into that quickly. But first off, I want to bring up that this movie wrapped filming January of 2023. There's a plot point in this movie where the right-wing conservative asshole has an assassination attempt and it misses his head by a matter of inches, grazing him in the process.
They knew and they let it happen.
This was wrapped filming in January of 2023. They got very lucky with that.
Yeah.
But the primary thing I want to bring up is that I think writing-wise, what Bong Joon Ho was more inspired by is obviously from his home country. He, I'm sure, like many other countries that are intertwined to the United States, which is unfortunately every fucking country on the planet, is at least pretty aware of American politics because it affects them. But South Korea kind of has its own problems with conservatism. As a matter of fact, socially, they maybe have worse cultural concern. You think the Andrew Tate shit is bad here in America? Oh my God, you haven't met a South Korean misogynist. It's fucking insane the shit they're doing over there. But more obviously than that, if you guys were watching the news this past fall, you might remember that the president of South Korea attempted to declare martial law and basically become a dictator for the country because the damn leftists were being influenced by North Korea. Now, thankfully, what happened is that the legislators literally fought their way into their parliamentary building in order to vote to override the martial law declaration. And I'm just thinking a lot right now about an opposition party actually, I don't know, doing something to fight. Just throwing that out there, no reason.
Yeah.
But I think the exact politics of Mark Ruffalo's character is more inspired by South Korean politics because they have their own unique issues with conservatism. Well, quote unquote, depending on how you feel, maybe it's not a problem. But their own thing with conservatism that is pretty similar to what the United States is going through, but different. It's worth remembering that South Korea was still a dictatorship as recently as like the 60s, maybe the 70s. I think the 80s is when they actually became a democracy. So just worth keeping that in mind. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The politics of this movie, and given the knowledge that it's almost certainly more influenced by South Korean than United States politics.
Yeah, that was something that my fiance was saying before the recording earlier. She was saying that, like, I guess Bong Joon Ho has said that the character was not influenced by Trump, but I guess Mark Ruffalo's performance probably is. Personally, and this is looking at it from a 2025 lens, but like his character to me almost looked more like Elon now to me. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think it's probably more influenced by his home country's politics than what we got going on. So I definitely agree. But I'm sure there's at least a kernel of us in there.
You know, it's also interesting you bring that up specifically with how it reminded me of Elon too. But again, I do want to kind of tie back into South Korea a little bit. If you think that corporations have outstretched power here in the United States, I would like you to take an afternoon and realize just how much fucking influence and power the Samsung Corporation has over South Korea. It's very powerful. But no, I totally got the Musk stuff too. He was very like especially with like he's like his I want to pose cool shit.
Yeah.
Musk is all about wanting to like look cool. You notice that Musk has been doing this? He keeps doing this. It looks sinister, but I think he thinks it makes him look smart.
I think he thinks it makes him look like Gendo from Evangelion because he's a dork.
I love calling Elon Musk a dork.
I hope someone does it soon.
He's such a dork.
I hope someone does it soon.
What?
And it could be anything. For example, my peanuts.
True.
Let's not leave that in there.
No, that's staying.
That's
in.
100%
That's
staying.
I don't want to be associated with that.
You're fine. You're fine.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. I hope everyone on the planet lives forever.
Don't wish me on that.
Don't put that on me. I want to die eventually. Fuck you.
Please.
Cody, don't you remember when you signed the paperwork to join Bomb Squad? We now have the right to clone you when you die. So you can keep the channel
I'm fine
going
with that,
forever.
but I still die.
No, I'm sorry. We regenerate you, but the body stays the same.
Oh, it's the same body?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have told me that. There's a reason you can only see this half right now.
Sorry. You should have signed the contract. You should have read the contract more carefully.
Nobody reads the contract, dude.
That's true. Terms and service. Fuck.
Mickey didn't read the contract. That's for fucking certain.
Shit. He was just like, "You're becoming an expendable," and you can immediately see in Robert Pattinson's performance. He's like, "Why the fuck is this a big deal to these people?"
I just want to be an expendable.
So something that I was thinking about, again, this is sort of 2025 lens, just from looking at this from the perspective of like knowing how much NFTs and AI and all that crypto shit is just actively destroying the earth and its resources. I have to think that a human printer is probably eating up so much fucking energy, like it's just insane.
I got the impression they had to have cracked fusion in this universe or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. Then again, if they had cracked fusion... Tony Collette's obsession with sauces, man. What the fuck was that?
That part I found really weird. Like,
I thought it was funny, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess it's like rich people are obsessed with material things, but like, I don't know, is ketchup a material thing?
I think
Maybe it's a deep cut. I don't know.
I think it was the whole point was supposed to make her, like you said, rich people being obsessed with material things, but also like the fact that they just have no empathy, and they care more about something as small as like trying to find a good sauce over like the value of human life.
Well, and from
I think that's kind of where he's trying to get.
From like that very last bit where Mickey's having the dream, I kind of got the impression that sauce is just pure uncut blood. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna grind these tails up. It's sauce.
Hold on, guys. I'm Googling, do rich people like sauce? I'm getting to the bottom of this.
What do you think you're gonna find?
r/no stupid questions 5 months ago. Do some rich people actually put ketchup on steaks? I can't say the T name, otherwise my post will get deleted. So does everyone know who knows who I'm talking about if T puts ketchup on steaks, or is it a bunch of nonsense? This has nothing to do with POLITICS. It has to do with the desecration of a good steak. Does Donald Trump put ketchup on his steaks?
It wouldn't surprise
No, T
me.
does.
Many such
The
cases.
guy is unhinged, so like it's possible.
He likes his steak well done with ketchup. Is he fucking 7?
Yes.
Is he a goddamn 4-year-old? Kill yourself.
In the mind he is.
This is by far the worst thing he's ever done.
If you say so.
I don't know, that's true. Tanner's like destroying people's rights? Nah. Putting ketchup on a well done steak? I can't stand for that.
The well done steak alone is criminal.
We asked him politely but firmly to leave the White House.
Tanner is now storming the Capitol tomorrow.
I'm about to yeah, you're about to see March 19th, and it's about me demanding. It's just me trying to give Trump a medium well. I'm not even doing medium rare. I'm just like, please, sir, Mr. President, please. It still has juice in it, please.
Eat the medium well.
Eat
Here's
the medium well.
Here's some A1 sauce with it.
We'll work our way down to medium rare, but we're gonna start you off simple. Sir, I can fix you. Give me a chance. I'm literally being dragged by Secret Service. Please, please.
Could you imagine if he ate a medium rare steak and it turned him into a liberal?
That fixes him. It just fucking fixes him.
He's like, you know what? Trans people should have rights.
It just turns it.
Folks,
I
just had the most delicious steak, and let me tell you, folks, the transgender Americans will be a priority for my administration. We're giving them big rights, bigly rights. The civil rights for the trans people, bigly, folks. We're gonna love it, folks.
It just turns into the scene from Ratatouille where the critic eats the food and it reminds him of being a kid.
It reminds him of his dead brother. Donald Trump's the key to understanding Donald Trump is to know that his brother was an alcoholic who died a pilot that died an alcoholic because their father kept giving him shit because they thought being a pilot was low class bullshit. Understanding this is the key to unlocking Trump's psyche. What are we talking about again?
Mickey 17.
That's right. Cody, you haven't talked in a while.
I'm so glad this is the episode I decided to come back with. the most political fucking movie on the schedule. Just, I want to have a say
This
in
is still a less political discussion than we had last week, arguably.
Yeah.
God, you're right.
I don't know if you watched the Breakfast Club episode. We were saying some shit.
Just comes with the territory. The politics of this movie. I mean, you guys kind of covered everything about, with Trump and then with, like, South Korean politics. Saying it wasn't inspired by Trump, though, I think is definitely wrong. There was literally fucking red hats in the movie. They definitely
That's
were.
the one thing where I'm like, all of his supporters wearing the red
I
hats.
forgot.
I'm like, okay.
It's like
I forgot about
like,
that.
maybe the personality's 100% not Trump, but come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Maybe the
I
red
know he's
hats.
compared-
Maybe the red hats were a decision by the costume designer.
that it could be true. I think I also heard that like Mark Ruffalo's performance was also inspired by evangelicals, like the like the Christians on TV. They're like trying to sell you shit. I
Well,
kind
especially
of got
the way him and his wife act. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
continue.
No, I got way more of that vibe from
I never
him
got a Joel Osteen
compared to like
vibe
a
from
Trump.
him.
Yeah, like all those like creepy like Christian people that have like the super mansions and shit.
I
It's
think
just, like,
Joel Osteen eats people.
Probably not wrong.
I want that on the record.
It's probably what makes him not age.
I don't like his smile. It scares me.
He's,
You know what, Trump has an okay smile. When Trump smiles, he looks like a human being. When Joel Osteen smiles, there's no light in his eyes.
Joel,
You know who has the most evil smile in the world, though? Mr. Beast. He look at a picture of him smiling. It's disturbing if you look at it too long.
Joel
Yeah.
Osteen is somehow a worse Tim Allen.
he looks like an AI generated Tim Allen. I'm looking at him right now.
Tim Allen is Goku.
That's true.
Yeah. What do you think of Tim Allen, Bennett?
Not much, I guess.
I just want to make sure you feel included, buddy.
I don't. What is Tim Allen in? Like, what is he even in?
He was in Dragon Ball Z.
Was he really?
No, but he
Or
was
this is a
almost in
bit.
the movie adaptation.
No shot.
At least
No,
according
yeah,
to this
you're
thing I
right.
literally saw this morning. It could be fake.
Tim Allen does look a lot like Joel Osteen, or how the heck you say his name.
Mickey 17.
Oh, I forgot he was in the Santa Claus movies, and in Toy Story.
Yeah, it was Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. I love Toy Story. How did I not know
He
that?
like trafficked a bunch of cocaine. Where's that the other guy?
He was arrested for trafficking. Yeah. Cocaine. not
Trafficking?
people.
Yeah.
Drug trafficking. Drug trafficking.
Why was he drug trafficking?
He was
Doesn't he make
poor.
enough money from his movies?
This was before he was an actor.
Wait, what?
Do you think he came out of the womb immediately going, "Ugh," and then thousands
Yeah.
of people cheering?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually.
I
No, he
assume
came
it's
out of the
all
womb,
actors come out of the womb.
smuggled
Tim, I need you to
drugs,
make an
and
After
then-
Effects comp of a baby coming out of a womb and it's Tim Allen's face. Can you make that a comp for me?
Nope.
You can
Cody, I
make him
need
come
you
out
to
of the
make that
Predator.
AE comp.
So what you're telling me is,
You know I would though.
what you're telling
No,
me
you
is, you can be a cocaine trafficker and still become Buzz Lightyear. This is a
Bennett,
Turnaround
there's
story.
a crucial part of the equation you're missing.
comeback story.
Tim Allen's white.
All right, I'll see you guys later. It's time to-
Bennett leaves. He thought Tim Allen was black for some reason.
We're not talking about the other Tim Allen.
I thought this was a different guy.
Ooh.
Mickey 17.
So Mickey 17. That's how you know it's a good podcast. I mean, I don't know. Stephen Young's in this movie.
Yeah, he's good. in
Did
the
a great
film.
job.
Biggest piece of shit of all time, yes or no?
A little bit.
The actor or the
No,
character?
his character.
Timo,
By all accounts,
Timo.
Stephen
I was
Young
like-
is also a horrible person. No, I'm kidding. He's a very lovely person.
Tanner's like, Stephen Young fucked my wife.
Stephen Young, the hedgehog is a bitch ass
Here we go
motherfucker.
again.
He pissed on my fucking wife. He took his fucking
all right,
hedgehog.
we get it.
dick
We get
out.
it. We get the joke. No, yeah, his character, he played like just a dirt bag of a person very well. Like the whole like oh, I'm gonna chop you up so that I don't get chopped up kind of thing was like I was so angry at him for that, and I was like, the fact that he can get you angry, that says a lot about his performance. And like, I always say, like, an actor is a really good actor, not if they're like, oh, like, I like their character because they're a really good person. Like, no, even actors that play bad people and
Yeah.
like, if they make you really angry at them and like think that they're just so terrible, that's also a good performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if they're good at playing an asshole, that's a good thing. And Stephen Yeun plays a great, like, huckster piece of shit between this and, like, Nope.
Oh, God. Definitely.
Yeah, he was great in Nope as well.
I feel like he's usually like a nice, lovable guy, but yeah, in those two performances, he does play a great, just slimy little asshole.
Fuck Glenn in The Walking Dead.
No,
I haven't seen it.
nothing but respect
He
for
die?
the president.
Did he die in that show?
He sure did.
Why does it say he was in an episode in 2022?
I don't fucking know. I haven't watched that shit
It's a
in
weird
a while.
show.
There's probably like a
Walking-
flashback or something.
Oh, wait.
The Walking Dead's still on?
Probably.
Dude.
It's
Mickey
like around
17.
Mickey 17. You know what?
Sorry, Tim.
Tanner, we can keep the thing about the Tim out drugging, because there was drug trafficking in this movie. I completely forgot about
There
that. scene where
was
they
a
were
lot
just,
of drug
There
trafficking.
They were
was.
just snorting fucking hydrogen tanks, wherever the fuck they
That
were.
was the
so-
most that was like in a movie full of unsubtlety. That was the most like come the fuck on, man. When they were like, I want the uncut stuff. You sure, man? That's crazy. The uncut stuff? And I was like, I get it. Fentanyl. Shut up.
Just give it to him. Or me, I don't care.
They were
Hurry up.
definitely-
Give me the drugs.
They definitely had the
Um,
fence slouch going on.
I'm ready to
That's
do
insane.
Fent right now.
Do you think that after being an expendable for a certain amount of time, you would develop a DMT addiction? Just a philosophical question.
Oh yeah, because the idea is that DMT.
Oh, yes, the
DMT,
philosophical.
like it makes you know what it's like to die. Is that the
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, so DMT is the chemical that releases in your brain when you die. So theoretically, he's getting a dose of it every time.
Yo, that'd be so cool. What if an expendable became like addicted to dying?
Flatliners.
Would have been.
Oh yeah, that is. I just, yeah. You think I just kind of basically reverse engineered Flatliners a little bit? Huh?
Flatliners is a movie about DMT addiction.
You ever done DMT? Jamie, pull up that gorilla. I don't think it's cool to reference that show anymore, that I just referenced. That used to play way better as a joke. Yeah, that's interesting though. Like, I don't know. This is a good movie.
It
I
is.
like this movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
You guys want some trivia? I can give you some trivia. Oh no, it sounds like you're gonna say something, Tim.
Oh, I was just gonna say we haven't really talked about the creatures a whole lot.
What were the creepers called again? Or the creatures called?
They were
again?
called creepers, actually.
Oh man.
Which yeah, I love them. I kind of almost got like Princess Mononoke vibes from the way they were kind of showing them, like you need to fuck off or we will explode your brains, which turned out to be a bluff, which I thought that was a good bit.
That is a good bit.
But I thought that they were great. I always love a good Bong Joon Ho creature, and I like the creepers.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked the creatures. I think they're designed really well. The set design in this movie was really, really good. It reminded me a lot of like the game series Fallout and like being in a vault kind of scenario. That's kind of what the sets looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one scene where they were like in the like room when he goes back to that one girl's room with her, just like I wasn't even paying attention to like what they were saying. I was just paying attention to like the set design in that room because it was so like cold feeling, which I think added to the whole like, you know, being on this spaceship sucks kind of feeling, was like just like how cold they made it feel in there with just the set design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
you
I like-
also go ahead.
Yeah, I should probably actually talk. No, I just want to add that I think the set design and the overall like the look of feeling like, you know, a dystopia was a really nice touch. Another thing I want to compliment, so I can actually say nice things about the film. I really like the score. I like the score a lot.
Yeah.
Very, very rich, very vibrant. During the recent I should have done this, but during the recent tornado when I was trying to get home from work, I just listened to like the Mayhem song like on loop driving home. Probably wasn't a good idea because it's a very hectic song, but it's a really good song. I just keep playing that song. But yeah, really like the score. That's one of the big positives I have for this film.
I will say this is one of those movies, like Lightyear or 9, where like there's a really good song in the trailer that I kind of wish was in the movie. I wish we got "Ain't That a Kick in the Head" in the movie at some point. Just
Why the fuck wasn't Starman and Lightyear? Sorry, not the point.
I don't know.
I think that's something else that kind of like reminded me of the set design being kind of like the Fallout series, because Ain't That a Kick in the Head, like the whole show on Amazon and the games, like they have the old 50s music like that. Ain't That a Kick in the Head, I think is one of the songs on one of the games.
It's in New Vegas. It's like,
you're right. Yep, that is.
It's a big thing in New Vegas. There's the opening quest line of New Vegas starts with a quest called "Ain't That a Kick in the Head."
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's like that, and then like the jumpsuits and the whole futuristic but also like old kind of technology was something I also like really liked. Like the cameras they were using, how they were supposed to be like, what was it, like 24K or something like that resolution, but they looked like cameras from like the 1940s. Like
Yeah,
that was
like
something
24,
like,
32K.
yeah, and it was like they looked like some old like, I don't know, 50s to 60s camera where it has to still be wired and everything. Like that's something I really enjoyed about it. It was like it gives you that old but also
That retro futurist
new.
style.
Yeah, that's the term I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that everyone keeps being like, "Yo, Mickey, what's it like to die?" When the mechanisms in the movie, as explained, would make it so he would not remember his death. Right?
Yeah. Because like don't they like
They only
his
dump his
memories and
memories
stuff.
like once a week.
Yeah.
yeah, his memories are from whatever it was when he was alive. So like from whatever that last dump would be, whenever he
guess-
die, he wouldn't remember up to that point, right?
Yeah, which I mean, I guess the way the movie's mechanics work, it sounds like part of his soul remembers, because like he keeps talking about how much he hates dying and how much every time.
I guess maybe part of it he does remember. That's fair.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know, an oversight in high sci-fi concept. I don't know.
So here's a question. You know how like when you have a girlfriend and stuff, Cody, I know you can't relate, me neither. No, I'm kidding. When you have a girlfriend and stuff and they get mad at you for something you did in their dream.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going somewhere with this.
I've heard of this phenomenon, but it has not happened.
I am going. It will. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. Let's say Mickey 18. Let's say that Mickey 18 and 17 lasts a little longer. Mickey 18 cheats on Nasha with someone else, but then dies. Does Nasha have the right to be mad at Mickey 17?
That's another good point.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
I don't personally think so, because like the way I viewed the clones is that they're each separate people. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you see the.
And then the follow-up question: would she be mad?
I don't know.
Regardless if she has the right to.
I mean,
They did kind of tease that concept a
Yeah.
little bit in the movie. Where
Yeah, when Mickey 17 was like getting flirted with, but he's like, I can't, I'm monogamous.
Yeah,
I do
and
love
she
how
was-
it wasn't, how like right before she kisses him, she's like, so do you have an open relationship?
yeah.
That was so funny. Just so I'm not cheating or anything.
Like, I gotta go.
Mom's funeral.
Yeah.
You know, the classics. Apparently, sometimes during directing, Bong Joon Ho wouldn't tell Robert Pattinson which Mickey he was until right before they said action.
Which, like, I feel like
Trying-
What?
I feel like for 17, that like puts him on edge in the way that he needs. For 18, though, I don't know if that works. But I mean, it did work ultimately. But like, he needs to have a certain stoicism, and him just going, ah, fuck. I don't know. I mean, he nailed it though.
Yeah, he is so good in this, and I totally get where or was it Mark Ruffalo coming from, saying that Robert Pattinson deserves a Best Lead Actor and Best Supporting Actor nomination for this picture.
Hell yeah.
That would be crazy if he got nominated for both.
It's not allowed.
Well, they should make it allowed just for this movie.
I will make it legal.
They are going to have a new Oscar at the Oscars this year, you know.
What is it?
Or next year, rather. Best Casting. Like, it's gonna go to the casting director.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Stunts win?
Make it
Stunts
happen.
does deserve one though, because like
Stunts are probably next. I think stunts are.
yeah,
They'll
Stunts
do it
is
for the
almost
100th.
The whole thing.
That's a good point. And they'll do it for the 100th just so they can give it to Tom Cruise somehow. Deservedly so. He is Mr. Movies.
Tom Cruise is gonna get 15 Oscars in the same Oscar, all for stunts. They're gonna like.
Yeah, once they finally do stunt, if they had a stunt Oscar, Tom Cruise would have won 5.
They're gonna be like, we're gonna
That's
retroactively nominate other movies for stunts. I think Tim's frozen, by the way.
No, he's just moving slowly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm stoic like that.
He's like Mickey 18 in a sense.
Yeah.
True. It's like the movie we're talking about.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
just real quick, the whole time I was watching the movie, every time like Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 were talking, the voice that I heard felt like a combination of Steve Buscemi and fucking what's the Sid the Sloth actor? I'm blanking on his name.
The Who actor?
The guy
Sid
who
the
played Sid the
Sloth,
Sloth. Oh man,
Your mother?
Name is on the top of my tongue.
John
John-
Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. Yeah, it felt like a combination of John Leguizamo and Steve Buscemi. And the next time you watch it, you will hear it.
I'm sorry, the way you identifying John Leguizamo as the guy that was in, that guy that played Sid in Ice Age.
You're god.
He's killing
You're
me.
goddamn right.
I mean, yeah, I suppose that's correct.
Fair enough.
But, like, he was in other stuff.
That was the first thing I heard him in.
He was in Die Hard 2.
Fuck Die Hard 2.
But he
It's
was in
just
Ice
Die
Age.
Hard 1 again.
He was in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that one's alright.
He played Luigi.
Luigi time.
There's an Ice Age 6 in the works?
And we will be talking about it.
What the fuck?
We will be there.
What are we talking about?
Talking about
Mickey
Mickey
17.
Actually, bringing up the voice real quick because that it took a bit to get used to. I will definitely admit. Also, because like when I haven't watched a lot of things with Robert Pattinson in it, so like I knew Batman and that was like it. So then when I heard in Twilight, yeah, that's true. So when I heard this fucking nasally ass voice in the start, I was like, oh.
I mean, I was
mean,
prepped with the Boy and the Heron. I knew he was gonna be able to do some
Yeah, so-
weirder, freakier shit.
yeah.
I do like how this movie essentially starts with a, yep, that's me.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It was missing the Bob O'Reilly, but besides
It
that, it's
needed
perfect.
that though for a movie like this, where he's like basically a human test dummy.
It
like,
is fair
he
to
needs-
ask. You're probably wondering how I ended up
Yeah.
in this situation.
It needs that that intro of like,
Yeah.
yep, that's me.
It was interesting
It's-
that this was another one of those movies that had like the title card come in like 35 minutes into the movie.
That's like my favorite trend right now. Is that title cards are happening like deep into a movie's runtime. Drive My Car did that. Fresh did that. This movie did that. Saw 10 should have done that.
It's just gonna keep going further and further back.
So mad that Saw 11 got canceled, guys.
Yeah.
Saw is dead. We could have gotten to Saw 17.
Then we could have gotten Saw
It would
8.
have been funny. Then Saul Barnes.
Saw Barnes.
It was all announced at SawCon. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
How about you sock on these nuts?
Oh, God, what are you showing me this for? All right, I think we're running out of energy. Final thoughts?
Sure.
Do we move on to final thoughts? Okay. Bennett, final thoughts on Mickey 17.
I really enjoyed it. I think it was a nice, different kind of movie from what we've gotten recently. Last year's movies we didn't get a lot of, like high sci-fi outside of Doom. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, different kind of story, and the performances were really good, and the set design was great, and the cinematography was great, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Bennett. Though I don't know, there was another big high concept sci-fi movie that came out last year, The Brutalist.
All right.
Bennett can't argue with me. He still hasn't seen it.
And I probably never will.
Cody, final thoughts on Mickey 17.
I mean, I still feel how I felt at the beginning. I was still kind of a little let down by the whole prospect. Though after this after this thing that we're doing, I guess.
The show.
After the show, I'd like to watch it again. I'd like to give it another go. Maybe watch a few more of Joon Ho's other films. Kind of get a good feel of what it is as a director. Maybe this might have just not been a good first film to start with when it comes to this director. And I'd like to give him more of a chance before I give Mickey 17 like a firm review.
Firm handshake.
For now, not my thing.
Firm. Tim, what are your final thoughts on Mickey 17?
Oh, hey everybody, go support my 17 friends named Mickey.
That was perfect.
There we go.
Thanks, Tim. All right, and I guess that's the end of the episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this episode's no copyright.
That was our host, Tanner. And we'll see you on the next episode. Oh, never mind, he's back.
I'm surprised you didn't do movie good in that voice.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
You gotta do it.
I really liked Mickey 17. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Really funny. It had a lot of interesting stuff to say. I can't wait to watch it again. And I guess I could say, oh, movie good. That's the reason I was mad. I was planning on doing that, you piece of shit.
I almost did it for my opening bit.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Stealing my jokes, stealing my girl, stealing my life, stealing my credit card.
You sound like personal
I'm surprised
problems.
Disney didn't.
But you know what you won't steal, Tim?
What's that?
You!
Rack focus.
The person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. If you are listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, thank you so much for listening. How about you mosey on down over to the comment section, leave a review. It boosts us in the algorithm or something. And if you are listening, how about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, where the $5 tier will get you access to commentary tracks, like the one we just released for Swiss Army Man, or the one that we should be releasing by the end of the month for the Daredevil movie. Stay tuned for that. And the $10 tier gets you a special shout out. So, my mom, Tanya Kraft, thank you for supporting the channel.
Woo.
And once you're done subscribing to our Patreon, just yesterday, if this episode comes out when I think it's going to, just yesterday, we launched a merch store. So if you go to bombsquadproductions.shop, you can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a hat, you can buy a magnet, but you can't buy Bennett. He's not for sale.
This is
Not
true.
yet.
I'm already
Not
purchased.
yet. We're working on that.
The printer is in.
It's in development. We're developing it. We're working on it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you oh so very much for watching. How about you mosey on down over to that comment section below and let me know, what did you think of Mickey 17? What do you think of Bong Joon Ho as a director? Which Mickey did you prefer in this movie? What was your favorite performance in the movie? What do you think about South Korean politics? And finally, would you fuck your clone? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you again oh so very much for watching. Tune in next week when we talk about another new movie that is very similar to this one. We're going to be talking about The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie.
Woo!
Should
More
be a lot of
politics.
fun.
But more
We will
others.
bring up politics then too. Don't worry. Yeah, except ketchup entertainment. Oh my god, the steak, the ketchup. It all makes sense. Good God, I have to talk to someone about this.
Well,
Oh, see you, everybody.
goodbye, everyone.
They slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.